Have you ever felt a nagging itch in a specific part of your body and wondered if it might be trying to tell you something more serious? You're not alone. Itching is often brushed off as a minor annoyance, but for many elderly individuals, it could be a subtle warning sign of deeper health concerns. Today, we're peeling back the layers on a topic that could potentially save lives: the hidden dangers behind 3 common itchy spots in older adults that might be linked to a shorter lifespan. Picture this. You're going about your day when suddenly you notice an itch that just won't quit. Maybe it's under your arm, on your lower leg, or somewhere more private. It seems harmless at first, just dry skin or maybe a reaction to the weather. But what if it's something more? In the quiet corners of hospitals and doctors' offices, stories emerge of people who ignored these simple signs, only to later face life-altering diagnoses. Take Mrs. Zhang, for example. At 60, she was living what she thought was a perfectly normal life. But one autumn evening, she noticed a persistent itch that settled in and refused to leave. At first, she dismissed it as seasonal dryness. Lotion after lotion, ointment after ointment, nothing seemed to help. As winter deepened, so did her discomfort. What truly alarmed her wasn't just the worsening itch, but the noticeable drop in her weight. Clothes that once fit snugly now hung loosely on her frame. Finally, pushed by concern and family persuasion, Mrs. Zhang sought medical advice. The diagnosis? Lymphoma. Her heart sank. It was a revelation that turned her world upside down. She had never imagined that an innocent itch could be the body's desperate attempt to signal an internal crisis. Lymphoma is a cancer of the lymphatic system, a crucial part of our body's immune defense. When these lymphocytes, our infection-fighting cells, turn rogue, they can create havoc almost anywhere in the body. One of the lesser-known but striking symptoms? Itchy skin. Around 20% of lymphoma patients report experiencing this symptom, often before any lumps or swelling are detected. But why does this happen? The answer lies in the chemical messengers circulating within. Malignant lymphocytes can release histamines and other bioactive compounds into the bloodstream. When these reach the skin, they irritate nerve endings, creating an itch that standard creams and lotions can't soothe. Unlike typical skin conditions that come with rashes, redness, or eczema, lymphoma-related itching leaves the skin looking deceptively normal, making it easy to overlook. Mrs. Zhang's case isn't isolated. Across the globe, elderly individuals experience persistent itching, chalking it up to dry air or age-related skin changes, never suspecting that something more sinister could be lurking beneath the surface. But lymphoma isn't the only silent threat. Consider diabetes, a condition that has silently crept into the lives of millions. While most focus on blood sugar readings and diet plans, few realize that persistent underarm itching can be an early warning sign. The reason? Diabetes wreaks havoc not just on internal organs but also on the skin, the body's largest organ. High blood sugar levels can damage tiny nerve endings and disrupt sweat gland function, leading to excessive dryness. In areas like the armpits, where skin folds trap moisture, the combination of dryness and bacterial growth can create a perfect storm for relentless itching. Mr. Kim, a 65-year-old retiree, shared his experience of dealing with constant underarm itching. Despite using medicated powders and antifungal creams, the irritation persisted. It wasn't until he scheduled a routine checkup that he discovered he had type 2 diabetes. By then, the itching wasn't just an annoyance, it was a sign of his body's internal imbalance. But sometimes, the source of the itch is even more personal. The discomfort of anal itching is often something people feel too embarrassed to discuss. Yet, in older adults, persistent itching around the anal region can sometimes point to serious conditions like hemorrhoids, anal fissures, or even rectal cancer. Imagine living with a constant urge to scratch, particularly in such a private area, and the emotional distress that accompanies it. Many suffer in silence, thinking it's a hygiene issue or a passing irritation. For Mr. Lee, the discomfort began subtly, just an occasional itch during dry winter days. But weeks passed, and the sensation grew more intense. Nights became sleepless, his days filled with awkward moments as he fought the urge to scratch. When he finally visited a specialist, tests revealed early-stage rectal cancer. It was a devastating diagnosis, but one that, caught early, had a promising treatment plan. The reality is that our bodies often whisper warnings before they scream. Itching in its many forms is sometimes that whisper. Lower leg itching is another signal that shouldn't be dismissed, especially in seniors. It can often be linked to hypothyroidism, a condition where the thyroid gland doesn't produce enough hormones. Without these hormones, the body's metabolic processes slow down, affecting everything from energy levels to skin hydration. The lower legs, naturally drier than other parts of the body, become especially vulnerable. The skin there can turn flaky, scaly, and incredibly itchy. Mrs. Park, 68, found herself constantly rubbing her calves during the colder months. Despite using heavy-duty moisturizers, the relief was fleeting. The itch was deep, almost beneath the skin. A trip to the doctor confirmed hypothyroidism, a condition she had been unknowingly living with for years. With medication, not only did the itch subside, but her energy returned and her mood lifted. So, how can we tell when an itch is more than just an itch? It's all about paying attention to the patterns and accompanying signs. Itching that appears suddenly, resists common treatments, and persists for weeks or months should always raise a red flag. And when it comes hand in hand with other symptoms, weight loss, night sweats, fatigue, or unexplained pain, it becomes even more critical to seek medical advice. Dr. Wong, a leading dermatologist at Wong Jing Hospital, has spent years studying the complexities of skin health in the elderly. According to him, understanding the difference between dry and damp itching is key. Dry itching, often seen in older adults, is mainly due to decreased oil production in the skin. As we age, our skin loses its natural ability to retain moisture, making it more prone to cracking, flaking, and irritation. This is particularly common in dry climates or during the winter months. On the other hand, damp itching hints at deeper systemic issues. It can be tied to problems with the liver, kidneys, or even blood sugar regulation. When these organs struggle to detoxify the body properly, toxins can accumulate, affecting the skin and leading to inflammation, darkening, and persistent itchiness. In some cases, damp itching can even lead to secondary infections like folliculitis or lymphangitis, especially if frequent scratching damages the skin barrier. It's tempting to dismiss itching as a minor problem, but as Dr. Wong warns, excessive scratching can create a cascade of issues, breaking the skin, leading to infections, and even leaving lasting scars. And when the underlying cause is something as serious as cancer, diabetes, or thyroid disease, ignoring the symptom could have life-altering consequences. So, what can be done? Prevention starts with mindfulness. Older adults should pay close attention to skin changes, especially when itching becomes persistent and resists typical remedies. Staying hydrated, using gentle skincare products, and maintaining regular medical checkups can go a long way in catching potential issues early. Diet also plays a crucial role. Consuming foods rich in vitamins and minerals helps maintain healthy skin and supports the immune system. For dry skin, increasing intake of vitamin A and E can be particularly beneficial, while individuals dealing with damp itching should be cautious about foods that may trigger inflammation or raise blood sugar levels. While itching is often benign, it can sometimes serve as the body's distress signal, pointing to something much deeper. Listening to these signals, acting promptly, and consulting healthcare professionals can make the difference between a minor inconvenience and a life-saving diagnosis. The next time you or a loved one experience an itch that won't go away, remember, it might just be your body's way of telling you to dig a little deeper. Because in the end, staying attentive to these small signs can lead to catching bigger problems before they take hold. As we continue to unravel the hidden meanings behind persistent itching, it becomes increasingly clear that our bodies often communicate distress in subtle, easily overlooked ways. Itching, while seemingly trivial, can act as a crucial early warning system, hinting at deeper, more significant health concerns. The elderly, in particular, must be vigilant as their skin becomes more susceptible to both environmental factors and internal imbalances as they age. Consider the story of Mr. Choi, a 72-year-old retiree who spent his days gardening and enjoying the peaceful rhythm of retirement. One winter, he began noticing a dry, relentless itch on his lower legs. At first, he attributed it to the cold weather. After all, dry skin is common in the colder months. But this wasn't just seasonal dryness. The skin on his legs became scaly, rough, and almost paper-thin, with a strange tingling sensation that made it difficult to ignore. Despite using heavy moisturizers and reducing his time outdoors, the itch persisted. It wasn't until a family member insisted he see a doctor that Mr. Choi learned the truth. He had hypothyroidism. His underactive thyroid wasn't producing enough hormones, slowing his metabolism and impacting his skin's natural ability to stay hydrated. With medication, his thyroid levels stabilized, the itching subsided, and he was able to return to his gardening, this time with a deeper appreciation for the subtle signs his body had given him. This is the reality for many seniors. The skin, being the body's largest organ, often serves as the first line of communication when something isn't right internally. It doesn't always present with glaring symptoms like rashes or swelling. Sometimes it's just a persistent itch that refuses to go away. The complexities of itching don't stop at hypothyroidism. There are even more intricate layers to explore, particularly when we delve into the differences between dry and damp itching, concepts that have long been studied in traditional medicine. Dry itching, the more common type among the elderly, often results from age-related changes. As people age, their skin naturally loses its elasticity and moisture-retaining capabilities. Sebaceous glands produce less oil, leading to dry, flaky skin that feels tight and itchy. This type of itching often worsens during colder months when the air is drier, drawing even more moisture out of the skin. But while dry itching can often be managed with proper skincare routines, like using gentle cleansers, avoiding hot showers, and applying thick moisturizers, damp itching is a different beast altogether. Damp itching is usually tied to internal imbalances and underlying health conditions. Traditional Chinese medicine often points to dysfunctions in the liver and kidneys as culprits. When these organs struggle to filter toxins from the blood efficiently, waste products can accumulate, affecting the skin and triggering inflammation and itching. This is why people with chronic kidney disease often experience severe, persistent itching without any visible skin changes. Moreover, liver conditions such as cholestasis, where bile flow is reduced or blocked, can also lead to intense itching. Bile salts can accumulate in the bloodstream and deposit in the skin, causing relentless irritation. Patients with these conditions often describe the itch as being deep, almost like it originates beneath the skin, making it nearly impossible to scratch away. One particularly concerning example of damp itching comes from Mr. Park, a 69-year-old man who began experiencing unexplained itching across his back and chest. There were no rashes, no visible irritation, just a deep, persistent itch that made sleep nearly impossible. After months of dismissing it as dry skin, Mr. Park finally sought medical help. Tests revealed he had early-stage liver disease, which, left unchecked, could have led to severe complications. The itch, once again, was his body's desperate attempt to signal that something was wrong. Beyond the skin-deep implications, persistent itching can also take a profound emotional toll. Sleep disruption is one of the most common side effects as the body's natural histamine levels rise at night, often intensifying the sensation. This can lead to a vicious cycle. The more you itch, the less you sleep, and the less you sleep, the more sensitive your skin becomes. For the elderly, who may already struggle with sleep disorders, this can significantly impact overall health and well-being. So, what can be done to break this cycle and address the root causes of chronic itching? First and foremost, awareness is key. Recognizing that persistent itching, especially when unexplained or resistant to common treatments, can be a symptom of a deeper issue is the first step toward proper diagnosis and treatment. Seniors and caregivers alike should be proactive about seeking medical advice when itching becomes a recurring problem. Secondly, lifestyle adjustments can make a world of difference. Keeping the skin hydrated is essential, especially in colder months when dry air exacerbates skin issues. Opting for lukewarm showers instead of hot ones, using fragrance-free moisturizers, and investing in a humidifier for the home can help maintain the skin's natural barrier. Diet also plays a crucial role. Consuming foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids, like fish and flax seeds, can help improve skin hydration from within. Antioxidant-rich foods, such as berries, leafy greens, and nuts, can reduce inflammation, while staying well hydrated ensures the skin remains supple and less prone to dryness. For those dealing with damp itching, managing underlying health conditions becomes the priority. Monitoring blood sugar levels, supporting kidney and liver health, and staying on top of medications can help prevent the systemic imbalances that trigger this type of itching. But what about those itchy spots that seem too embarrassing to talk about, like anal or genital itching? It's common for people to ignore or self-treat these issues without seeking professional advice, often out of embarrassment. Yet these areas can provide critical insights into underlying health concerns. Persistent anal itching, for instance, can be linked to hemorrhoids, infections, or even colorectal cancer. While hemorrhoids are common and generally harmless, the same symptoms, itching, bleeding, discomfort, can also point to more serious conditions if left unchecked. A thorough medical examination is crucial in distinguishing between benign and concerning causes. Genital itching, particularly in postmenopausal women, is often the result of hormonal changes that thin the vaginal walls and reduce natural lubrication. But it can also be a symptom of infections, dermatitis, or even certain cancers. Open, honest conversations with healthcare providers are essential in addressing these concerns promptly and effectively. Dr. Wong, who has spent decades studying skin health in older adults, often emphasizes the importance of understanding these nuances. In his view, itching is never just about the skin. It's about what lies beneath, whether that's a chronic condition, a hormonal imbalance, or a more serious disease waiting to be uncovered. His advice to patients is simple yet powerful. Listen to your body. If an itch persists despite your best efforts, if it spreads, deepens, or is accompanied by other symptoms like fatigue, weight loss, or night sweats, don't delay. Early detection can be life-saving. One of the most overlooked yet impactful ways to manage chronic itching is stress reduction. Itching and anxiety are closely linked. The more anxious a person feels, the more likely they are to scratch, leading to increased irritation. Practices like meditation, deep breathing exercises, and even gentle yoga can help calm the mind, and in turn, reduce the intensity of itching. And let's not forget the power of community. Many elderly individuals suffer in silence, reluctant to share their discomfort for fear of being seen as burdensome or overly concerned. Encouraging open dialogue, whether within families or among friends, can help normalize these conversations. Sometimes hearing that someone else has gone through the same experience can be the nudge someone needs to seek help. In the end, it's about recognizing that even the smallest symptoms can have the biggest stories to tell. That nagging itch, it might be nothing, or it might be your body waving a red flag, urging you to pay closer attention. So, the next time that itch lingers longer than expected, don't just reach for the lotion. Take a moment. Ask yourself, what is my body trying to tell me? Because sometimes the quietest signals are the ones we need to hear the most.